A new column in Cal Matters suggests politicians rise or fall on disaster response, and the LA fires are Gavin Newsom's big test.
Alexei Kosov joins us, and he covers Governor Newsom and the California government for Cal Matters. And it's nice to have you with us, Alexei. Let's talk about the governor's response. When it comes to this test of leadership, you say that Newsom had a singular focus in the aftermath of these fires.
Yeah, I mean, I've covered Governor Newsom for many years, and one of the things about him is that he's usually doing so many different things at the same time. He's got a lot of different balls in the air, so to speak. And so I was struck by how over the past 6 weeks, he has basically not spoken about almost anything other than the fires. He's lived down in LA for part of the time, dealing with the aftermath. He has even used his podcast to release episodes about the fires. I mean, it's a level of attention to a disaster that we haven't seen from him at any point in his gubernatorial career, except perhaps during the early days of the coronavirus pandemic.
That being said, some state legislators have criticized Newsom's response, namely when it comes to forest management and preparedness. But unlike, say, Mayor Bass, you write Newsom has largely escaped major blame for the disaster and that he's even been embraced in some quarters.
Yeah, I mean, early on, I think there was a lot of questions about whether some of this might be the state's fault. I think, those questions have sort of been answered as, probably not really the case. And so he's been able to move forward sort of in a more heroic role, signing executive orders that clear the way for the recovery, signing legislation that puts money toward those recovery efforts. I mean, these kinds of things that have not, caught up local officials in the same way. So he can kind of come down from on high and offer the resources of the state and the help of the state without having to be accountable for some of the mistakes that contributed to the disaster. And that's, put him in an easier position than perhaps someone like Mayor Karen Bass.
Certainly, yeah. Newsom staff tells you that they are not contemplating his legacy, though, as they navigate the recovery. But how do you see this moment as an inflection point in his political career?
I think we've seen the way that major disasters can make a politician's name, or it can sort of sink them for the rest of their career and perhaps end that career altogether. And I think it's naive to suggest that politicians aren't aware when there's a crisis of this magnitude that they really need to perform, or it could redefine them in the eyes of voters. And even though this is an LA crisis, all of California has been watching. And so Newsom has come in and devoted all of his time and resources to dealing with the aftermath and the recovery. And, he's taken basically an ownership role of this disaster in a way that, if the recovery is successful, could really boost him. And if it's a failure, it could, really tarnish his legacy in the long run.
The bulk of your piece is about how disasters can define a leader's political legacy for good or bad. And you draw an interesting comparison between Newsom and former California Governor Pete Wilson and his response to the 1994 earthquake. What can we learn there?
Yeah, I mean, the reason this is such a parallel is that after Northridge, Governor Wilson also came down for weeks and devoted all of his time and energy to that disaster response in a way that you might not expect from a governor. And it turned around his popularity. It actually helped propel him to a come from behind sort of comeback victory in the governor's race for his reelection later that year. Now, ultimately, he's not really remembered for Northridge as much as something like Proposition 187. So I think it goes to show the limits of what that legacy redefining moment can be with a disaster. But it does create sort of this blueprint for someone like Newsom to take ownership and lead in a very strong way forward, and perhaps sort of regain the trust of some of the voters he's lost, and perhaps carry that forward for himself into whatever his future aspirations are.
All right, well said. Thank you so much for joining us, Alexei Koseff from Cal Matters. You have a good night.
Thank you so much.